Hello there and welcome back to Architect. And in this video we are going to be modeling our infinity pool, which I said would be over here in our previous video. So we're gonna start that, but before we start that, we wanna remove this practice work. This is actually a practice work I did from my leisure time. I try to model one, but is what it turned out to be. So we're gonna take it out before we start. So now we have our clear space to work here, and then we want to model our floor for the infinity pool. So we go to architecture and then go to floor and click on the drop down arrow and click on the first one, the floor architecture, and that's it. It opens our floor model space. So now we want to make a floor projection out of this place. So we click on the line to model our floor. Click on the line and come over here and the floor. We go to this edit type and go over to duplicate, and in duplicate we want to name it pool floor. Okay, the name pool floor is already in use. Probably I used it while I was practicing. So we want to name it pool floor 1. Pool floor 1. And yeah, it's saved already as pool floor 1 up here. You can see that up here. And after renaming it, we want to go to edit. We want to edit the structure. So in this structure we have different layers, but we can do that in the wall structure. We have different layers for different types of wall you want to use, but in the floor structure we just have the structure. So we can't add structure for the floor, except in complicated floors for this pool floor. So right now we just want to deal with the structure alone, and yeah, it shows that the structure is 150 millimeter thick, but I feel like structurally it's not going to be suitable to use a 150 millimeter thick floor for a pool because of the density and weight of the water that the pool carries. So we want to make it a bit thicker. Let's probably make it around 300 millimeter thick, assuming I'm not a structural engineer, but I assume 300 is going to be okay. So we want to make it 300, and okay, we're done with that, and we'll click on OK. And then there is no other thing here to do. If there's any other thing, we come back later to do it, and now we'll say OK. And now it's registered to pool floor 1 and 300 millimeter thick. And so now we're gonna click on our finish edit mode and see what it looks like in the 3D view. In 3D view, this is what we have. we have this projection. And personally, you can still edit this floor. You can still edit it if you feel it's too long, it's too projected outwards, or something like that. You can still edit it by clicking on it and going to edit boundary, and it's going to take you into this tab again, and you are going to be able to edit it by either shifting the lines or adjusting the dimensions to your taste. So for now, we want to just work with this, and then working with this, we have our pool floor already. So now we want to make dwarf walls for the pool floor. We want to make our dwarf walls, and to make the dwarf walls, we can go to wall, click on wall, and go to our first floor that we're working with. Now we have the pool floor here. Now we already have the wall here, and we want to create a dwarf wall for the pool. So now we want to do it shorter. A dwarf wall is shorter than the regular walls. So you go to edit and go to duplicate, just like we did for the pool floor, and then we want to name it dwarf wall, and okay, and we want to go to the structure and edit the structure, and here we have the materials tab and function tab and every other tab, and the thickness and wrap and structural material. And for now, we are only dealing with the structure. In other videos, I will show how you can put different layers in your walls, but in this, for the sake of this video, we're just going to deal with the structure thickness. So we want the thickness of that wall to be probably 230. 230 is okay, but we want the thickness to be of the walls that guards the water, the pool water. We want it to be about 300 also thick, and we can tap on OK when we are done with that. So now you see it's registered to dwarf wall, is registered as dwarf wall, and every other thing is in place, so we can click on OK. So now whatever wall we are going to set up here is going to be 300mm thick in structure. So we come over to wall, click on wall, and make sure we have the dwarf wall activated, and we can come here, tap on this, and tap on this, and tap on this side and this side, and then this side. Now we have our walls surrounded, but these walls are not for the external part of the pool. So let's go to 3D view and see what we have. We have these walls, and another thing you notice is that it's a bit longer, it's a bit higher than usual. So if we click on one of the walls, we see that the height is 20,000, but that's not what we want. We want the height to be probably around 115 to 2,400 millimeters. So now we just want to reduce the height of all this by selecting all of them and coming to unconnected and changing it to 2,400, and let's see how that looks like. Come to apply, and yeah, this is what it looks like in 3D. And you notice how again that this is not, if you look under here, it's not lapping with the edge, but it's not necessary for it to lap right now because these walls are not supposed to be at the extreme. of our design. So we just go back to first floor and shift in these walls. Shifting the walls and shifting this also. We're gonna come back to the dimensioning later, but for now we just want to get everything straight, and then shift this in also. So if you go back to 3D, we have them all brought in, narrowed in. So now we want to create another type of wall that is a bit smaller. It's a bit smaller. So we'll go to walls and go over to edit type, and we want to name that wall Dwarf wall 2, and okay. And we want to duplicate that. We want to edit the structure rather, and we want this wall to be actually smaller in size. Let's call it 150 millimeters thick structure. And okay, so we have everything in place, but we have everything in place here. Okay, and remember how that we didn't adjust the height of the previous wall, the dwarf wall we created. So let's adjust this height now. Let's make it probably around 1500 millimeters, and let's see what that will look like. So now we have our dwarf wall 2 that's going to be at the extreme of the floor. And now we'll go back to first floor and to our walls, and we have our dwarf wall activated, dwarf wall 2 activated. And now we want to click it. I want to click it at the edge, but if you notice up here, it's set to wall center line. It's set to wall center line, but we want these walls now that we made to be at the edge of the floor. So we gonna go to click on wall center line and click on finished face interior. So we click on finished face interior. Now if we click on this, it's not going to be at the center line, instead it's going to lap with the interior. So we go to we activate our walls and go to finished face exterior. So if we click it, it's going to lap with the edge of the exterior. The exterior is going to lap with the edge of the floor. So now you can see it. We just click it and click each edge point. Each edge point is going to lap. This message shows that highlighted walls overlap and one of them may be ignored. It's telling you that these two walls now overlap. We're going to fix that later. Then click on this place as well, and on this place as well, and it's showing you the same message. But we're going to work on that. So we want to shift this wall in, so that they don't overlap anymore, and shift this one in also so they don't overlap anymore. So now we have our dwarf walls. Now we have these two walls. Projecting out of the design. Alright, so we are making progress so far, and now we have these external walls to these external walls here to guard the people in the pool from falling off the pool, probably by accident or something. So that's why I provided these external walls. And then we have these internal walls that are thicker to guard the water in the pool. So now we want to properly model the pool now. So we have this to be, we have to go to first floor and go to this, and we want to shift this away from this but in a proper dimension. So we go to modify and align dimensions and click on this edge and this edge, and we see that it's 343 millimeters. So we click on this to adjust it. So we click on this and it brings up the dimension, and we click on this dimension to change it. So we want to change it to probably about 1000 millimeters. Yeah, we have that space now. And then for the edge of this too, we want to have a specific dimension ascribed to it, and also this probably around let's say 600 millimeters would be okay, because a normal human being can pass through this with 600 millimeters. So we have this too to be 600 millimeters. Now we have our space for our pool in here, which would be 3000. Perfect. So we go over to our and see that it is what it is. So now we seeing something here, that our pool walls are a bit higher, so we want to make it a bit shorter. So we click on all four walls and let's make it probably 2100. And it's reduced in height there, and yeah, we've got it to be like this. So now we have this. We now want to start editing our pool. So for our pool, we want to make an extrusion for the pool water that will be here. We want to make an extrusion inside here that will represent the pool water. So to do that, we go to architecture, we go to component and model in place and casework and okay, and then we'll go over to extrusion. Now we want to set the work plane that we are going to be modeling our extrusion on. We pick a plane, so go to set work plane and pick a plane and okay. So we want to pick this plane here. We pick the plane, and we are going to be working, whatever we're going to be dimensioning or modeling is going to be on this plane, on this top surface plane. We can also change that by coming over to set and pick a plane and okay, and then we can pick another plane. We can pick another plane, any plane we want to pick over here. So now we want to still work with this plane, so we'll click on this plane. So now we want to model our pool water right now. So we click on this, click on this, and the boundaries of the wall. Click on this also, and then I think that's it. That's basically it. And we click okay. So we have this extrusion here that comes out. So we want to drag this down until it laps with the bottom of the pool, and then also this, we want to drag it down until it laps with the top of the pool. So now we have this, and we click OK. Funny how it shows a brown material, but we're going to change that. We want to make it to be water, so a water material. We click on this, and when we click on this, we go to edit in place, and after edit in place, we click on it again, and now we have materials, and then it's already set to a finished material, but we want to change that. We click on this side to open the material browser. Then we search if we've got a water material, or we don't have a water material, so we have to create a material for that. We go to duplicate materials, click on this and create new material, and this is the material we just created. So we want to rename this material, rename it to be water. Yeah, so we come over, click on it and go to identity over here, water, and let's check the class. The class would be liquid, and then the graphics will leave it to use render appearance, and the appearance will be let's look for the appearance. We have to duplicate this first, then search for the appearance. So when this browser is open, we're going to go to appearance library and go over to, we're going to look for liquid. I'm going to look for liquid. Yeah, it's liquid. So now we have different liquids. We just have to choose one. So probably we can just choose this indoor pool, or probably the swimming pool. Let's select this, click on these arrows here, and it takes it over to this place. It's updating it. Takes a little while to process, and okay, we have it here now. And this is just the settings where you can set the wave height and every other thing. Where you can set the wave height and some other things you want to set. So you click on apply, and then okay. So let's see if it turned it out to be what we said it to be. Oh, apparently it didn't, so we still have to do it again. We click on this, go to edit place, click on this again, and in our material browser, in our project browser, we see the material. So we just go, since we already created the water material, we just search it out now and it will come out. It should come out, and now we have the water material, and okay, it should work now. So finish. Yeah, so we have this water material now over here, as you can see. So we can actually edit it later on, we can work on it later on to see it. If you can't see it this way, then probably you'd not set this to realistic. It's probably in shaded or constant. Alright everyone, and welcome to our Architect. And today we are going to be continuing our model of the infinity pool we started previously. So now for this particular video, we're going to be taking off this the exterior part of the pool walls, and we actually don't want the exterior part of the pool walls to be like this or like this. So we want to have a slant wall here, so we can just delete this wall and delete this wall as well. So now we have a clear space to work. Now for the pool wall here, we're going to be modeling, we're going to have it to be this way. We want to have a glass that's going to protect the pool water from going off. So now to do that, we're going to go to our first floor, so where we can place the glass on. and then we want to go to wall and go to click on the drop down to see the list of walls, different types of walls you have, and scroll all the way down to curtain walls. So now for this design, we're going to be using the curtain wall system. So we click on the curtain wall and come over here and click here and click here, and we have our curtain wall here. Now we want to see what it looks like in 3D view. We go over to click on 3D view up there and come down. This is what it looks like, and we have to start modeling our glass wall now. So we can model it by clicking on it, and then we want to increase the height to the height of this pool wall here, so it laps with the edge of the pool wall. And we can do that by clicking on it and coming down here to unconnected and changing it to 100, because if you can remember, the walls here we had it to be 100, and as you can see now it has affected the change, and it is now the same height with this other wall. So now in our previous video, we designed the pool water to lap on to the previous wall we did. So now we want to edit that to lap over with this one. So we tap on this extrusion pool water and we come to edit in place, click on edit in place and click on it again, and then we want to drag it out to lap with this. As you can see, it laps now with this, so click on finish, and the pool water now laps with this particular water here, with this particular glass wall here. So right now we want to add a mullion up here, but before we add the mullion, we want this glass wall to lap into the wall, the pool wall here. We want it to lap into the pool wall to effect the structure well. So to do that, we're going to tap on the curtain wall and go over to attach to edit profile, and now we can edit the profile for the glass wall, for the curtain wall. Now we want to shift the wall probably to the center of this wall, and to do that we can pick a line here, and this is the middle of the wall, carry it all the way down to this middle point, and same thing for this point, same thing for this point, and we can just do this, delete that wall, that line, delete this line and connect the edges together. Connect the edges all together, and now we have all the edges together. We can now click on finish edit mode. Now we have the wall sunk into the curtain wall sunk into the wall here to effect the structure, to make it a bit stronger. Alright, and welcome back to Architect, and for today's video we're going to be modeling our slant walls for the exterior of our infinity pool. And right now we're going to do that by editing the walls. We can edit the walls by clicking on the wall and going to edit profile, where it brings us into this tab, and okay, we have it now to be slant. So we do the same thing for the other wall. Yeah, click on this, edit profile, Okay, now we have these slant walls all seated together, and then we want to make an exterior glazing that is slant also. So to do that, we have to use the extrusion tool, and the extrusion tool is found in architecture component, modeling place, and casework. So we pick extrusion and we tap on set work plane. We pick a plane, and the plane we pick is this plane, the slant plane, because it best describes what we want to work on. So we pick that plane and begin to pick lines on that plane. This and this, and okay, so now we have this extrusion, and it's a bit out, so we want to make it to be inside and bring it in with the adjustment arrows and bring it in, and it's out. So you can see here that it's a bit out here, so it's an error, but we'll work on that later. So we just finished there. We finished the model, but before we finish the model, we have to change the material to clear glass. And here we have clear glass glazing, and okay, and finish model, and we have this clear glass over here. Alright, so we want to now create a slant wall for the pool walls, the internal pool walls. So we want to first of all, we want to reduce the height of this pool wall again to probably around 1900. Probably around 1900. So we select all the walls and we click on this, and we'll reduce it to about 1900 and see what it looks like. And we have this, and the extrusion also went down with it, so we select this cutting wall and reduce it to 1900 also, and apply it, and see that everything laps together. Everything laps together now. So so right now we are going to make this wall here slant, just like we did this. So we're going to select this wall and edit profile, understand what we mean, and click OK. Now we have this. Now we have this wall out like this. So now we also want to do the same thing for this other side, and to do that we click on it and go over to edit profile. So now we have this to be like this. Now we have this all set up, and we have our walls all slant together. Now we can proceed to doing the other thing we have to do. So in this other side of the external walls of the pool, we want to make the pool aligned on the same walls without conflicting with each other. So to do that, we're going to go to our project browser and go to first floor, click on first floor, and so we can work on it properly, and come over to this place. We want to split this wall so this wall can come through. So we want to split the wall and click this and click on split element and split this wall. So now we have the walls into two separate sections, so we can click on one and adjust as we want. So we can adjust this wall to this far end and adjust this wall to this far end. So now this wall now can actually come through. We can just align it with the floor edge. Click on this floor edge and click on align, and it aligns. So this thick line we see here is the extrusion we made, so we have to align the extrusion also by clicking on this. This is the extrusion, and I'm going to show you that in the 3D view first before we edit it. So we go to 3D view and we see this is the extrusion, the water extrusion we did, so we have to edit it to the extreme. So we can do that also in this view by clicking on the extrusion. We can click on the extrusion and we can click on the extrusion and edit in place and click on it to drag to this end, and now we have it to the end and we can finish the extrusion. Now we go back to our first floor and we see that this edge, the edge of this wall is not, there is an opening here, but we don't want that opening. We want everything to be closed, so we can also see that this has gone out of 90 degrees, so we can just bring it back to 90 degrees and lap it onto this wall. Or we can do that by using the trim extend element, but first we have to make this 90 degrees. Yeah, it's now 90 degrees, so now we can go to the trim extend multiple elements and click on this wall first because we want this to extend to that wall end, and we'll click on this to extend it. So we'll do the same for this side. We'll click on this wall because we want it to extend to the end of this wall, and we'll click on the element we want to extend, and it extends, and we have this. Now we're gonna see what it looks like in 3D view. Just give Revit some time to process. Yeah, so we go to our 3D view, and this is what it looks like in 3D view. So now we have this infinity pool all modded out, and we can now go over to modeling the access to this infinity pool. And to model this access to the infinity pool, we're going to be using the massing tool. We're going to be using the massing tool, so let's try it out. Hello and welcome back to Architect, and in this video we are going to be designing our access to the infinity pool over here. So we want the access to be towards this place. We want it to be joined to this model here. So to do that, we're going to work with our massing tool, which is up here, and let's get right into the model. So to do that, we're going to go to massing and sites and go over to in place mass and click on that, and we can actually rename our mass here to be whatever mass we deem fit to name the mass there. So we are going to leave it like this because I don't want to reference it later. So we can just click on OK, and once we have this in the model mode, we can now go over to our first floor, which we have been working with. In the project browser tab, we have our first floor there, and then we can click on the first floor to open up the first floor view. So now we have the first floor view shown. So what we want to do basically in the first floor view is to create planes with which we can use to model our massing. So in order to do this, we are just going to come up here to plane, click on plane, and we just want to select these points. We select this line and select this next line, and select the next line, and select this line. Now we're done with selecting these lines. We just want to extend the line so that the plane can be more broad. We click on it and click on this tool here and extend it outwards, and at the same time we want to also name the plane so that we can know which plane we're working with. So let's call this plane number 1. Okay, we have it to be number 1. So now we go to the next plane, click on it and extend, and we can name it number 2. Enter. Click on the third one and we extend it outwards to this point, and we can rename it to be number 3. Enter, and then we click on the last one and drag it out to this point, and we can name it number 4. Yeah, so we have 4 planes right here, and now we can individually select each plane we want to work with, and we can successfully work with that plane. So to do that, we have to go into our 3D view while we are still in the model, in the modeling tab. Now we're in the 3D view, so we want to select the first plane that we're going to be working with. To do that, we're going to set placement plane. Here you click on the drop down, and it's going to show you the planes. Every plane in this model is going to show you, but it's also going to show you the planes you just created right now, and you can see them down here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 planes. So when you select any plane, you're going to see the plane visible. Now we see the plane visible. Now you can choose to make the plane invisible by clicking on this to make it invisible. So when you do that, it's going to disappear, but for the sake of this work, we're going to make it visible. So now we want to begin modeling what we want to achieve here. So we want to achieve something like a ramp that's going to take people from the first floor level up to the swimming pool level, where they can get into the swimming pool probably through a dive board or something, or something like that. So to begin modeling, we can pick this tool here, and you should make sure that once you pick a tool here, it's not set to draw on face, because once it's set to draw on face, it's going to draw it on the face of the object you're going to select. But when you pick this tool, it's going to draw it on the work plane you selected. So we have to pick this so that we can draw on the work plane that we want to actually work with. So we pick this, and whatever we're drawing now is going to be on this plane, on this particular blue plane that is elongated upwards. So now we want to go back there and continue. So we pick the line, pick the tool and set it to work plane, and we then start by picking this line here, and then picking this base, yeah, and narrowing it down all more to this point, and we want to know what dimension is here. We have it to be to 500, or let's make it about 3600. So now we have it to be 3600, and then I want to make a ramp like stuff over here. So we come to our spline tool here, we click on this to make a spline, click on this and make a 2-point line rather spline. So we click on this to edit the spline like this, and we have this to edit it to give us that ramp look we're looking for. So next up we're done with this edit here, we're done with this model here. Now we want to make sure also that whatever you're modeling here is going to be all in a closed loop, so Revit can understand what you're trying to achieve. So now we go over to the next plane by clicking on set this and go to reference plane 2, and then pick a line and make sure it's set to work plane, draw on work plane, and pick this line, pick the base again, and bring this in from this point to this point, and want to make this to be about, let's say 5900, yeah, a bit longer than this. So we do that, and now we can use the spline to make the ramp like shape, a 2-point spline, and down here and close loop. Yeah, so let's try to adjust this spline to fit what we want. Down, yeah, so that's about what we want. So now we go over to the other side and select the third plane, which is reference plane 3, and now we have reference plane 3 already appearing here, different from reference plane 1 and 2. So now we go over to that and pick these two and set it to draw on work plane. Now we pick this line and this and bring them in, and remember we had this one to be 5.9, so we want to make it 5.9 also. Yeah, 5.9, yeah, 5.9, that's it. So we also work with the spline, make a 2-point spline towards here and here. We have that, and now we want to work on the spline again by double clicking on the spline. You work on the spline, and I want to do this and bring this in a bit. Alright, so we have that now, and I think here is a bit too high. Bring it a bit down, and so we have that. Now we want to work on with the last reference plane. Pick set reference plane 4, and then go over to select this, select work on draw on work plane, select the line there, select this floor, draw it down to this point, and want to also bring this in to this point about, well, I've forgotten what we used for the other one, so I'll just go check what we used for the other one. Alright, it shows here that I have highlighted lines. So pick this, and I want to know the dimension for this line, and it's 3.6 according to what we see here, 3.6 in length. So we'll make this also 3.6 in length. So it's 3.5 now, 3.7. Don't know why the dimensions doesn't show. Okay, we actually have two lines overlapping there, so we delete that and work with this line. 3.6. $3,600, yeah, we've got 3,600. Now we want to work on our spline, work with our spline, and come here and click on this, click on this, click on this, and we have the 2-point spline. So we bring this in, bring this down, and yeah, so we have all 4 of them modeled. So now we want to make it create form, and let's see if it works. So everything has to be in a closed loop, if not it's not going to work. So how you know it's in a closed loop is you touch it and you see everything form up. So like I touched this one now, but it's not all in a closed loop because we don't have a line here. So we have to pick a line there and select the line there, and yeah, now it's going to be in a closed loop. Now it's in a closed loop. This is in a closed loop. This is in a closed loop. This is in a closed loop, and then we can now create the form. To create the form, you have to select every modeled plane. You select the first one, hit your control, select the second one, select the third one, and then the fourth one, and then tap on create form over here. Okay, now we've got an error message here that shows unable to create form element, self-intersecting or singular geometry would result. So it's trying to tell us that there is a intersecting form that is not making it to create, or a singular, or probably we have one modeled stuff that is not in a closed loop. That's when this kind of messages come up. So we've got to look at our model again to know what the problem is. Everything is in a closed loop. So what seems to be the problem? Let's see if we can raise this a bit higher and raise this to be a bit higher. Let's see if it works this time around. And this, and create form. Yeah, it worked. So when you get such messages like that, you just have to rework on your model to see if it actually approves for the new model you just did. So this is what we have. This is the massing we have over here, and it's as simple as that. And then we'll click on finish mass. Yeah, now we have this. Now someone can actually access this through this point and access the pool area. In other words, you can also use probably steps steps. Instead, depends on what you're trying to achieve. You can use the staircase model, the staircase 2 in architecture stairs, to achieve steps here that can help someone access this. But for this video, I prefer to use the massing to improve the aesthetics of the building. Alright, see you in the next video.